So a weather alert is in place for icy roads tomorrow morning. Now, so far this season, the last couple events we've been saying, some snow coming in. It's going to accumulate on the grass and ground temperatures are going to stay warm. Not too much to worry about in the morning. This system, not so much. And I think this map here tells the story pretty well. You can see the sharp drop in temperatures as this front is really raking across the central plains and parts of Colorado. So it's going to allow those temperatures to drop so quickly. Anything that melts on the roads initially this evening, as we continue to cool, is going to freeze up pretty quickly by about midnight tonight. So it is going to mean some partially packed snow-covered roads tomorrow morning and some icy overpasses and bridges and things to that degree. So please be extra vigilant in the morning. This is not one of those typical springtime systems where our roads are going to fare on the warmer side, not at all. So you can see here with the temperatures as that front is really pushing across the eastern plains. You can see the collision course here of air masses. Temperatures are still in the 50s right across Pueblo, Walsenburg, and Trinidad as a result of those winds still out of the west. So still pretty mild here in Pueblo County, parts of Alamosa, areas into Walsenburg and Trinidad in the 50s. But that front moving in across parts of the Arkansas River Valley with those winds out of the east-northeast. Remember, oftentimes cold, dense air is heavier. It's going to take the path of least resistance. So where it's trying to kind of come over the mountains here, elsewhere it's just going around and it slides in kind of a backdoor cold front, we call it here in Colorado. Just because it's easier for that cold, dense air to push in across the plains and kind of bumping up against the mountains there. So that's why we're feeling much colder right now, lower terrain areas versus probably areas across the central and northern mountains. Temperatures tonight will be down to the teens. So as more of this snow starts to fill in across the region, it will start to freeze up pretty quickly overnight tonight. Let me take you to the radar really quickly here and show you what we're looking at so far. I've kind of stopped the radar here. We're not going to lapse it just so you can see that it's pretty isolated across parts of the Sangre de Cristos right now. You're noticing just a few little flurries still flying across parts of Colorado Springs, but it's fairly light. It'll get a little bit heavier later this evening. We have had some reports of already a little bit of freezing, icy conditions on cars and windshields so far up in Denver, and then the next step will be cooling the ground quite a bit as that cold air really starts to rush in overnight tonight. As we take you back to the future cast right now, let's show you what's going to materialize by about 8 p.m. A lot of that changeover from rain to snow will start to take place between about 7 and 9 p.m. for parts of Pueblo County, back up into areas into the Wet Mountains and eastern Fremont County, and still some pretty heavy snow up towards parts of northern El Paso County, but breaking up just a bit between 9 and 10 p.m. More of that snow will become a bit more widespread across the southeastern plains. In Los Animas, La Junta, Fowler, Rocky Ford, Trinidad, and Walsenburg will start to get some light to moderate accumulations by about 9 p.m. tonight, extending into about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then that quickly moves off towards the east. We start to see a little bit of filtered sunshine by tomorrow morning. Notice here between about 5 and 7 a.m. areas across La Junta and Los Animas and even up towards I-70 will get a break in the clouds. We'll be a little bit delayed, so it's still going to be a little chilly in the morning, and then sunshine will start to peek out tomorrow afternoon. So anything that is icy on the secondary roads, hopefully that'll help to melt things pretty quick for tomorrow afternoon's commute. So we're not so much concerned about tomorrow afternoon as much as it's going to be tomorrow morning. But then look what happens Tuesday night. Snow starts to return here, but the orientation is going to be completely different. So moving up from the south and heading north. So you'll get hit here in Raton and parts of Trinidad and Cuchara, La Vida, Spanish Peaks between about 12 a.m. on Tuesday to about 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So that'll be an overnight event for areas into the Sangre de Cristos and parts of the San Luis Valley, and then really moving up towards parts of Pueblo, but giving us a quick little dusting on some of those grassy surfaces. So if you're joining us around Pueblo and parts of the Eastern Plains and the Palmer Divide, our event is more so tonight. Areas into La Vida and Trinidad, you kind of need to think of it in two waves here. One tonight, another coming through tomorrow. That's what's giving you that kind of storm total of a 36-hour period between 3 and 6. So don't expect to be too impressed with the system coming in tonight, as much as you're going to get a little bit more by tomorrow night through Wednesday morning. Areas across the Palmer Divide, 3 to 6 possible up towards Monuments and parts of central Douglas County, 3 to 5 in Woodland Park, 2 to 4 in Colorado Springs. Again, remember, I know some of these totals sound sound pretty light, but this is not your average springtime system. This is going to be a pretty cold event, so it is going to allow for some treacherous conditions on those roads tomorrow morning. We will warm up tomorrow afternoon, but tomorrow morning's commute is the primary concern. Your 7-day forecast here shows a gradual warming trend the latter half of the week. We still have kind of a daily precipitation chance, but it's going to be more so of a wintry mix by Thursday and Friday for local mountain cities, and maybe a few rain showers for parts of Pueblo by the mid to latter half of the week. So front half of the week, more so in the way of some snow in 2 little rounds here tonight through tomorrow morning. Big concern. And then another little weak round tomorrow night through Wednesday morning. And then we'll start to moderate our temperatures just a bit by the latter half of the week. And anything that falls from the sky at that point should be in the form of a few rain showers. Back to you guys.
A lot going on, Mary. Thanks. Big tech and the rest of Wall Street unable to hold on to last week's record highs today. The Dow dropped 123 points. The Nasdaq dropped 138. Prices